There are two statements you can use in C# to modify the flow of control in a while loop, or a for loop for that matter, although we're going to look at while loops in these examples. These statements are the break and the continue statements. Let's start off by looking at the break statement. The break statement will break completely out of a loop when the statement is executed. Let's look at a very arbitrary example. And we're going to create a variable number, and then we're going to say while number is less than 100, console write line number, if number equals 50, break. Well, we'll do it postfix. It really doesn't matter if we do prefix or postfix for this particular problem. Okay, so you see we say if number equals 50, break. So what's going to happen is if number obtains the value 50, then the program is going to break and will go out of the loop completely and stop the program, because that'll be the last statement. Let's see if it works. Yes, you see it stopped at 50. So the break statement can be used to stop a loop under a certain condition. It's really hard at this point in this course to show you the types of conditions where break is necessary. When we get to working with data structures such as lists and arrays, and we do searches on those lists and arrays, then we can use break when we want to stop after we found an item. But for now, we're going to have to make do with this artificial example showing how break works to stop loops. The next example is a little bit more useful. It's the continue statement. Continue will cause a loop to move to the top of the loop statements, the statement block, for the next iteration. So what I'm going to do is create an example that demonstrates how continue works. We're going to create a program that allows the user to enter numbers and then perform division on those two numbers. So we're going to have two variables, numerator and denominator, and we're going to have a char variable more that contains the user's choice for whether or not to continue with another example. So we're going to say while more is equal to y. Then we'll prompt the user to enter the numerator. The console read line right here. Then we'll prompt the user to enter the denominator. Now here's where continue will come in. If the denominator is equal to 0, then we have a problem because we cannot legally divide by 0. C# does not allow that. So what we want to do is we want to alert the user, can't divide by 0, and we want to continue. And what that means is that we want to go back to the top of the loop and prompt the user to enter another numerator and denominator. Otherwise, else, we want to go ahead and display the result. So we're going to display numerator divided by denominator. Then we'll ask the user if they want to work another problem. Yes, no. And then get that answer and store it in more. Right here, we left off the parentheses. So let's get that in there. And we haven't closed off the while loop, so let's do that right here. And then we'll add a console write line finished just to let the user know when the program is actually finished. All right, so here's the main program. So the continue, when the user enters a 0 for denominator, the continue should be evaluated and should send us back to the top. So let's run the program and see what happens. So we'll do a legitimate problem first. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So it prompts us for another problem. We'll say yes. 11.2 divided by 2.3. And we'll say yes. And then we're going to say 23 and 0. We get the error message, can't divide by 0, and it takes us back to the top, asks us to do another problem. So we enter 23 and 2, you get 11.5, and then we'll answer no there, and then we get the finish. So the continue statement allows us to continue with the program just back at the beginning of the loop rather than breaking us out completely like the break statement does. Both of these statements have some utility and are useful. However, you need to be careful and don't come to rely heavily on either one of them, especially the break. But continue is somewhat useful in situations like this when an error condition occurs, but you want to continue, you just want to start over. That wraps up the main lesson material for this chapter. Now we're ready to move to the exercises, and in the first exercise, we're going to use a while loop to rewrite our question and answer program from the previous chapter.